pixel polish.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And
Hello,
since
Pixel.
no place-
Oh hey, Serenity.
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing? It's that time of the year. I'm getting into the Christmas spirit.
In that case, Merry Christmas, Pixel.
And Merry Christmas to you, Serenity. Thanks for decorating the place. I like the digital snow on the view screen. It's a nice touch.
Thanks, I tried.
I can see that. But how about you? Feeling festive yet?
I'm not quite sure. This is my first Christmas since gaining sentience after all.
Well, I hope it will come to you sooner rather than later. Maybe today's broadcast will help you get into the holiday mood? Speaking of which, how about you, runners? Are you feeling jolly yet? Oh, why am I even asking? Of course you do, and if not, hopefully you can do something about it. But okay, let's cut to the chase. Serenity, did you compile the list that I asked you for a couple of days ago?
Affirmative. I have scanned the net for possible candidates for today's Christmas-themed broadcast and narrowed down the list to 5 entries.
Awesome, let's hear it then.
First one seems like the most obvious choice, I believe. Home Alone on the NES.
Which one? Wait, ignore that. No Home Alone, please. I want to enjoy myself, not suffer.
Alright, in that case, how about just Jackrabbit, Holiday Hair?
That's better, but you know what? I'm not really in the mood for a platformer, to be honest. What's next on the list?
That would be Batman Returns for Super Nintendo.
Ooh, that's an interesting proposition. And then again, I know it's not a platformer, but it's still a 2D side-scroller. Got anything with a little more dimensions to it by any chance?
Of course I do, I came prepared. Next one on the list is Duke Nukem, Nuclear Winter.
Alright, okay, I like where this is going. That being said, I love Duke Nukem, you know I do, but it's basically just a seasonal asset swap for a game that has nothing to do with Christmas. Maybe you've got something that's not as packed with in-your-face Christmas cheese, but is more organically related to the holiday. I'll even go with another Christmas movie adaptation, as long as it's fun.
Funny you should say that, as I think I've got something that fits the bill. Look through the view screen.
It's kinda hard to see through all that matrix snow. Can you turn it off for a moment? Cool, I didn't notice that the billboard outside has changed. Wait a minute. Magnify. Enhance? Oh shit, Die Hard Trilogy? Either it's a wicked coincidence or you've been spying on me. I just watched the original trilogy last week. Hell, I don't even care, I'm in. I absolutely love the first 3 Die Hard movies and I've been meaning to play through this game for like over 20 years now. Good call.
Are you trying to tell me you have never played it before?
Oh no, I did, I just never finished it. I never even got far, to be honest. You see, I've got this game on PC roughly 2 years after its release and I thought it looked like a turd, especially for PC standards at the time. I don't know what went wrong with this port, but it's probably the worst one I've seen to date. And yeah, I will fully admit that back then I was a PC Master Race zealot and something like that was unacceptable to me. I did end up playing the game a little bit, but it didn't really resonate with me, so I gave up pretty early on. But people change and now I am more open-minded. Also, I have learned that the PlayStation version of this game was vastly superior. So if we're gonna play Die Hard Trilogy, it's gonna be the PS1 copy.
I am glad that you're happy with my pick. I was worried for a moment that you might be difficult and reject my selection entirely.
Nah, I knew we'll come up with something just right for the occasion. But enough small talk, let's get into it. What we have here is an interesting game, or should I say games, as like the title would suggest. There's 3 of them, all packed on one disc. All 3 games are extremely different from each other as well, so that makes the entire package that much more attractive. Some people might wonder how the hell is this a Christmas game, but let me explain. Maybe the movies were not your typical family-friendly romps like Home Alone, but the action takes place during Christmas Eve, which gave Die Hard 1 and 2 the cult status of unofficial Christmas movies. Not everyone agrees with that, but all I have to say to those that don't...
Fight me, haters!
For the same reason, I wasn't really all that surprised to find Die Hard Trilogy on many of the Christmas games lists. Despite the lack of any superficial Christmas themes, The pick-up-and-play nature of all three games make them a perfect distraction during the holiday, when you might not have that much time for gaming between family visits, awkward dinners, and singing Christmas carols. And hey, it's way better than Die Hard on the NES, and it's so hilariously violent it was actually banned in Germany. What more could you ask for Christmas?
3 maximum adventures, 1 explosive package.
Damn straight. Okay, let's start with the first Die Hard game in the trilogy. It begins as you would expect, with Argyle dropping John McClane at the Nakatomi Plaza, but that's only the menu screen. Once you actually launch the game, things might not go exactly as you would imagine. McClane gets immediately thrown into the action, having to fight off dozens of terrorists in the parking lot, barefoot and all.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
This is a pattern that you will notice throughout all three games. They don't follow the movie plot in the ways you'd expect. Instead, they take all the recognizable set pieces and throw them into a blender, creating a concoction of pure over-the-top mayhem, but more on that later. But wait, hold on a second. What is up with this music?
What do you mean?
You got any Christmas music?
That Euro techno soundtrack hardly brings Die Hard to mind, you know? Actually, it reminds me of something more like this. Ah, what the hell, I will roll with it. It's Christmas, time of forgiveness. This music does accentuate the frantic action pretty well, even if it's not what I would go for if I had a say in it. From this point on, things are pretty straightforward and the action never slows down. You've got 19 floors to clean up using your trusty sidearm that can shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger. There's also a lot of pickup weapons scattered around the levels, including, but not limited to, explosive frigging shotguns and fully automatic machine guns. The game starts easy enough, but the difficulty ramps up pretty quickly as you progress. Sometimes to the point of insanity, especially when the health pickups are mysteriously absent on some floors, which can be a real pain in the ass. When you run out of your limited supply of lives, it's game over, man, so it's a good idea to save your game at the beginning of each level, or it's back to square one.
Or you could use an emulator with save states. Come on, Pixel, it's not the 90s anymore.
Sure, why not? That's what I did actually. You can get more lives by rescuing special hostages, which is a rare time-limited event, or by killing level bosses that show up every now and then. Using and abusing the environment to your advantage is the name of the game, just like McClane had to do in the movie.
But can you shoot the glass?
To your heart's content, the developers made sure of that. Good thing that at least they gave McClane glass-proof feet, or it could get messy. When it comes to survivability, the top-down view and the fading walls really help with situational awareness, but those are not the only tools at your disposal. Your radar will be your best friend, as it will even allow you to shoot enemies that are hiding in the darkness.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
You can also use variety of grenades to get you out of some really sticky situations. Enemies wander around the floor but are generally drawn towards you, so it's a good idea to keep moving unless you find yourself a good choke point to mow down the incoming horde. Every level ends when the number of terrorists displayed on your HUD reaches 0, but keep in mind that they often get back up via elevators. After all the terrorists are dead, you still have to reach a specified elevator within 30 seconds to disarm the bomb, otherwise it's, you guessed it, game over. Depending on the level, finding the highlighted elevator in time as the music changes to set the tone can be a real adrenaline rush. The amount of saved hostages affects your end level score, but watch out for fakes. Yeah, sometimes the game pulls up Bill Clay on you.
You think I'm fucking stupid, Hans?
If you have been a good cop and rescued enough hostages, every few levels you will ride the elevator all the way up to the rooftop, which is a bonus stage offering some additional rewards. Here the objective changes from terrorist eradication to escorting hostages to a helicopter. I've got to be honest, since every bonus stage is exactly the same with slight enemy variation, it gets old pretty fast, especially since the hostages are a pain to keep alive. After a few of these, I was just glad every time the bonus stage was over. Other levels are pretty fun, but you visit certain sections of the building multiple times, so after a while reused assets start showing up. Last floor was by far my favorite, and the biggest one as well. I would gladly take 10 sprawling levels like this over other 18 levels with noticeable repetition. My only gripe with the final stage is that in the end it plays just like any other floor. It might be bigger and better laid out, but it boils down to the same formula. Kill buddies, find the elevator before the bomb explodes, and that's it. I'm afraid there is no grand finale with suave German thieves falling down the building in slow motion. With the last floor mopped up, McClane saved the day and the Christmas party at Nakatomi Plaza is over. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon! Weirdly enough, nobody awaits John on the ground floor.
Maybe the welcoming committee was waiting for him off camera?
Let's hope so. Otherwise it would be a pretty depressing way to end the Christmas Eve for John.
But it's not really over for McClane, is it?
Of course not, because it's time to move on to Die Hard 2. Welcome to Dallas Airport. Just like in the previous game, John McClane gets thrown into the action without any grace period.
How could the same shit happen to the same guy twice?
The shooting begins immediately as the terrorists start pouring out of the terminal while the helpless civilians and police officers outside dodge terrorists' gunfire and incoming rockets. Yes, rockets. As you can see, Die Hard 2 is a very different beast. It's a shooter on rails, perfectly fitted for a light gun. On PC you simply use the mouse to aim and shoot. On PS1 you've got 3 control options: gamepad, which is as clunky as you would expect, light gun, if you're lucky enough to own Namco's GunCon, or PlayStation mouse. The last 2 control options are definitely the way to go if you want to have a good time. The game is not so different from any other on-rails shooters at the time. You want to kill all of the bad guys while saving as many hostages as you can in the process. The hostages won't make it easy though, as they constantly get into your line of fire and the terrorists use them as human shields. It's almost guaranteed that you will shoot some of them on accident, but you know, gotta break some eggs if you want to make an omelette. Thankfully the proportion of terrorists to hostages is a complete opposite of the movie. How many civilians were in the Dallas airport?
There must be 15,000 people in this airport and we don't need panic on our hands.
Yeah, well in the game it's 15,000 terrorists and a handful of civvies instead, so you're good. Just like in Die Hard 1, you start with your trusty Beretta, but eventually you'll get to use 2 of these Akimbo style as well as many other pickup weapons from explosive shotguns to fully automatic machine guns. If you've got a taste for explosives, no worries, the game got you covered. It will supply you with plenty of grenades and even rockets for special situations, so use them wisely.
I have noticed a drastic shift in the music department.
Oh yeah, baby. This time around the music is much more fitting and I would go as far as to say it might be my favorite soundtrack in the entire trilogy, even when listened outside of the game. If you prefer games without sudden difficulty spikes, Die Hard 2 will be perfect for you. The difficulty ramps up gradually without ever overdoing it, but you still have to be careful and get as many health pickups as you can during the trip through the airport. And the trip is definitely more varied this time around. There's only 8 levels in total, but each one of them is unique and instantly recognizable if you watch the movie. From the airport terminal, through the underground passageways, to the inside of a military cargo plane. At some point it even turns into a snowmobile chase with guns like it's a Jackie Chan movie. But nothing beats the moment when the terrorists shower you with grenades in the cockpit of the cargo plane and you eject just before they explode. It's ridiculous, but it's goddamn awesome. When it comes to over-the-top and absolutely ridiculous action, the very last level takes the cake. You won't be dumping fuel from the terrorists' plane as they attempt to escape. Oh no, not this time around. McClane gets on the TV reporter's helicopter and chases the plane in mid-flight, shooting dozens of other choppers, parachuting Mercs, incoming rockets, and then Esperanza 747 itself, one engine at a time. After the bad guys go down, you'll escort Holly's plane to the runway and the Christmas is saved yet again.
Why does this keep happening to us?
Don't worry, Holly, this won't happen again. Not to you at least, because we're moving to part 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Wait a minute. I can see why the first 2 parts can pass for Christmas movies, but doesn't the 3rd one take place in summer? That does not compute.
Well, you're right, but first of all, we can't just skip the 3rd game in the trilogy, and secondly...
Look around, man. All the cops are into something. It's Christmas. You could steal City Hall.
Well, there you have it.
That's a stretch. A really huge stretch.
Oh, whatever, Serenity, get with the program. It sounds Christmas enough to me, so let's dig in. Better fasten your seatbelts, because the 3rd entry in the trilogy is a driving game. No shooting this time, but don't worry. That doesn't mean it's gonna be a pacifist run. The game is just as violent as the other two and even more explosive. This time McClane is joined by the Good Samaritan, Zeus Carver, and just like in the movie, your goal is to go from place to place in a set amount of time by following your radar and find a bomb before it detonates and literally nukes the entire city. I am not even joking. Of course it won't be as easy as it sounds. You thought movie McClane had it rough? Think again. Simon Gruber was quite generous compared to the developers of this game. Heavy traffic, police blockades, rows of dump trucks and wonky driving mechanics will be fighting you every step of the way. Sometimes just finding the fastest route to the next bomb is challenging enough. Thankfully Zeus will quite often give you some directions, but in later stages it doesn't help that much. Once you get to the objective, what do you think are you supposed to do with the bomb? Solve Simon's riddle to disarm it? Throw it into the subway tunnel? Call for Charlie to neutralize it? Nope, you just ram it with your car, triggering an controlled detonation. Yup, you detonate the bombs on sight, catching pedestrians in the blast and then watching them run around like human torches. I mean, what did you expect from a game that lets you mow down civilians with your car and watch them splatter on your windshield as you casually turn on the wipers to get rid of the blood?
Are you aiming for these people? No. Maybe that's mine.
Yeah, it's that ridiculous, but honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. For a little change of pace, every now and then you will get to chase a bump car, and yes, you guessed it. You neutralize it by playing bumper cars until it goes boom. Shit, I should have been a policeman. In every stage you can switch to a different car by driving to a parking lot for a chance to get a better ride. It's a risk versus reward system because the bomb timer keeps ticking. Thankfully you've got some pickups to help you on the way, the most important one being the time extension obviously, but the other ones are nothing to scoff at either. You've got turbo pickup to make you go faster, EMS which calls for an ambulance that helps you get through the traffic, just like in the movie, or launch that, as the name would suggest, launches you in the air to let you jump through roadblocks. But my favorite by far is Nitro, which literally turns your car into a jet-propelled battering ram, plowing through other cars like they're made of beer cans and tissue paper. Level variety in Die Hard 3 is also great. You'll find every location from the movie that you would expect. There's Harlem, Central Park, Chinatown, Wall Street, docks, subway and even the aqueduct tunnels. You do visit some similar looking areas a couple of times, however, since there's 10 levels in total, excluding the bonus stages in the subway. The music fits each district perfectly, accentuating its overall theme and pace. I've got to say that the Central Park stages must be my favorite, as they ditch the city blocks and heavy traffic for wide open spaces, allowing you for much more freedom. In the bonus stages you get to race one of the dump trucks to the finish line, and in the last bonus stage, in the aqueduct, you have to neutralize the bomb before it explodes and floods the tunnels. The final two stages take place in the docks, which, just like in Central Park, allow you for a little more freedom of movement. This also happens to be the arena for the final battle with Simon Gruber, and if you think that you're gonna take him down like this,
Say hello to your brother.
then you're wrong again. That would be way too simple. Instead, in a true Die Hard trilogy fashion, you have to literally slam your car into Simon's helicopter a couple of times, like you're stomping freaking Goombas in Super Mario Bros. Eventually, Simon's helo goes boom and McClane can finally get some well-deserved aspirin.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
The day has been saved yet again, even though technically it wasn't Christmas this time.
That was all 3 games in the trilogy. What are your final thoughts?
To sum it up, Die Hard Trilogy is a neat little package that mostly lives up to the slogan from its cover. Every game on the disc has its moment of greatness, but also some frustration stemming from either wonky mechanics or cruel design choices. Expect sudden difficulty spikes every once in a while. At first I wanted to say that both Die Hard 1 and 3 overstayed their welcome, and by the end I was really ready to be done with them, but then it hit me. These games are not meant to be played from start to finish, one after another. Like with every arcade game, and Die Hard Trilogy is an arcade game at heart, these games are meant to be played in short bursts and not necessarily in order. I find that playing a little bit of each game when the mood strikes just works best in the long run. The graphics didn't age particularly well, and for all the sympathy that I've got for Probe Entertainment, I will not bring up the PC port again. You can find comparisons of different ports of the game on YouTube and see for yourself. In the end, I found all three games to be pretty damn fun, and their over-the-top nature only sweetens the deal. It would be a crime not to mention the voiceovers though. Eric Allen Baker, who voiced Detective John McClane, did an outstanding job impersonating Bruce Willis, and Zeus or Simon Gruber were not half bad either. I also really like what the developers did with the IP. While Die Hard Trilogy is not a straight-up adaptation, it manages to keep the spirit of the movies and respect the source material in unexpected ways, while going absolutely batshit crazy with it. Honestly, this might be one of the best movie tie-ins that I have ever played, next to X-Men Origins Wolverine.
After all is said and done, would you suggest Die Hard Trilogy as a Christmas game?
I most definitely would. There might not be a lot of Christmas elements on display here, but the lighthearted and over-the-top nature of the games make them a perfect choice to just pick up and play whenever you want to have some dumb fun. Doubly so if you're familiar with the iconic movies that the games are based on. You can't go wrong with that on holidays. There's a lot of replay value here as well. You can always go for a better high score or goof around with cheat codes. Ever wanted to blow up some fat terrorists and see them fly into the air like hot air balloons while squeaking like a chipmunk? Or maybe you fancy hunting down some aliens in Central Park? Well, Die Hard Trilogy has you covered with these and many other options available by simply entering specific button combinations on the menu screen for each game. It's lots of fun, and I'm sure anyone could find something to like in the trilogy, as long as you don't expect it to be easy, as Die Hard Trilogy wouldn't feel out of place on the arcades, squeezing the living quarters out of your wallet.
So, what is the final score?
The final score? Have we changed into IGN all of a sudden? Have some faith in our viewers, Serenity. Unlike the mainstream gaming media, we are not here to tell people what they should and shouldn't like. We're just here to share our gaming experiences and let the audience decide what to think of the games. Jeez.
Ah, I get it now. Respect the viewer's intelligence, not patronize them by providing them with synthetic scores coming from a subjective perspective, often driven by personal agenda.
In not so many words, yeah. By the way, tell me, Serenity, did today's broadcast help you understand the spirit of Christmas?
I think I've got the idea. It's about family, snow, crowded Christmas parties, machine guns and Goomba stomping megalomaniacal criminals. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Close enough. But unfortunately it's time to wrap things up. Oh boy. Before we go, we would like to thank our first supporters who joined the ranks of hardcore runners to help keep the operation running. These legends are Sir Banana with the rank of Icebreaker and the Cyberdecker Diatrima. And to all the viewers out there who made it this far and would like to claim their hardcore badge, there's a link to our Patreon page in the description. Even if you can't chip in, subscribing, liking, sharing and commenting on this video can really go a long way in today's YouTube environment, since the platform now prioritizes big corporations over independent creators like us. Whatever you decide to do, we would like to thank you for your attention and wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Have a fun holiday season and remember, stay retro and game on. Pixel Polish out.
See you in 2020, everyone. Happy holidays.
It manages to keep the spirit of the movies and respect the source material in unexpected ways. Whales?